Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been a week since we released our latest video and I thought I would do a follow-up and create a new thing this week. It's quite warm here, it's 30 degrees. I hope everyone's doing fine without melting because I'm currently melting by my computer and the door is closed and there's only one window barely open. And the sun is also burning the air that is coming inside. I'm trying to hydrate as much as possible. I don't want to spend too much time on trying to introduce what I'm going to do this week, but it's gonna be a planter design. I'll take you guys from the initial sketches to modeling and then rendering, and then after this, in the next video, we will probably do a 3D printed mold. Then we will cast it in concrete and we'll see where this will go. We will probably come across a lot of issues and stuff to fix, but I want to keep you guys on the board with this so you will also learn as much as I do during this process. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone did a great week. My week was alright, nothing to complain about. I also had a nice long weekend. This is the last day of the long weekend, so we'll be going back to the business soon. Without further ado, I think we can jump in soon. But before that, thank you for being here. If you have any questions or comments, please write them down. If you have likes to spare, please do that. If you subscribe, I'll really appreciate that. Also, we have a Patreon, and if you have time, feel free to check the link down below. I'm sure it will appear here somewhere. It's free to join. If you have bucks to spare, feel free. I will keep posting there whenever I have time. New models, new stuff to share. There will be a lot of content coming in as well soon, and I'm trying to build this habit to share more in there. And it's still free to enter, even for free subscription. There's a lot of content, so feel free. Like I said, without further ado, this is our regular sketching process. I used regular Stabilo here. It's one of the most reliable pens that I have, and it's very cheap as well. So I just use the cheapest pen possible because ideas are much more important than the tools anyways. Design wise, I'm thinking about making some plant pot that is like, let's say, smart plant pot, and it will have 3 pieces. One of them will be the bottom piece, which will have the water and then the planter inside, and then it will be covered with another shell above. I was thinking about like having conservative design language that will have the plant coming outside as if it's breaking from a block of concrete. It's quite brutalist, I know, and I love brutalism, and if you like designs like that, I'm sure this will also speak to you. The planter inside will also have ropes, like strings coming out, so it will also draw some water underneath from the container. And I'm also trying out different design languages here, which we will briefly cover them up in the very end of this video, because there is not only going to be one design, there's going to be multiple options there, and I will be asking for you guys to vote for either one of them in the end. So I'll be looking forward to it. We are on Fusion now. The shape is quite simplistic already, so since I'm also no matter what, I always start with very basic shapes, but since our designs was quite basic, I'm not going to have much of a challenge while I'm working on this. The only challenge will come, I think, while I'm going to start printing it out with a sort of character and casting concrete inside, because I'm still having problems with visualizing how I can create a mold and how it will come out from the mold. So I think it will need a bit of like a experimentation, so we will see about that. As you see over here, the design will have like 3 different parts. and the whole design is going to be around like 10 to 10 probably on size with this, because the reason why I'm doing that, I don't want it to be too large, because I want it to be something that could be put on the table, just like having an ornament, you know, or like you can also give this to your friend as a gift maybe. But also on the other hand, I don't have much space on my 3D printer, and since it's not modified or anything, it's just a Creality Ender 3 SE, I guess, or KS. I don't remember the model. So I don't have much space. So we'll be quite restricted in that case, but it's fine. I like the restrictions. If you're a designer, I know that you might also like the restrictions. We are cool with that. I'm adding an opening on the design right now. I don't want it. I first thought about having it like organic, you know, like as if the block was actually cast on a concrete and someone just broke it out, like broke it in, or like the plant has broken out, which would be actually cool, but it wasn't actually giving me this feeling of designed. It was feeling a bit of randomness, which could also work actually for some cases, but for this one I just didn't want it to look that way. I wanted it to look a bit elegant, but also will have a bit of a statement as well as a design. So that's hence the material and design and overall like simplistic look of it that we are aiming for. I like it to be as brutalistic as possible without being too random. You can see both planter part extruded outside with a lid on top. So the reason why I made it that way is because I want the user to have the easy access to the inside, so they can just lift the lid and put their plant and then cover it up. But if they want to also change something or just put some water inside the pot underneath, they could also easily take out the planter. That was the actual reason why I have designed it that way actually. In the previous iterations that I made, the planter was lower and it was actually creating issues while trying to take it out when I tested it out in 3D. I want it to be not too sharp, but still have a bit of friendliness around the shape, so I'm adding a bit of a fillet. Also, it will help me to take it out of the mold without a problem, as far as I understand, but we will see. For this case, for like, I think it's like a 1% of the design is I want it to be interesting, is this bevel there. Like, I don't want to have a uniform fillet, but I wanted to have a bit of a variation on the fillet to add some interesting value. I tried it this way, but like thinking of it as an asset on the table, someone would probably put something on top, right? So I also don't want stuff that is put on top to fall down, so that's why I will roll back to a previous version and adjust the fillets there. Yeah, see, I just rolled back. I'm trying to find a middle ground between something as uniform but still a bit of a variation, just to have this kind of difference, as you can see over here. Yeah, and I think this was the end of our modeling phase for this case, and then we will slowly move on to Blender. Alright, we are on Blender right now. It's a basic workflow actually. I have added the model into the Blender and I downloaded the concrete texture from, I think it was texture.com or somewhere, just a random search on Google. led me to this, and I searched some references as well beforehand just to find something as close as possible to whatever there is for concrete casting, concrete custom models, just to find some similarities between the render and the end goal that we are trying to achieve. What will be different, I think, will be the texture coming out from the 3D printing. That's something that I'm actually looking for, and I wanted to replicate on this as well, but I couldn't. I think I will probably like work around with the normals and see if it will work out or not. Adding some lighting and some elements just to have this pretty looking render there. I'm also using Botanic for adding some plants into the scene, and just to give it some life, you know, just to have this feeling so we can see how it might actually look like in real life before we start casting it and like doing the stuff in the 3D printer. So here we are. We have like 4 options for our plants. They all kind of look different from each other. If you have any options that you would like to prefer, please let me know. Maybe we can move on with those, and maybe I can also explain you guys about what sort of workflow that I actually followed while I was designing them. I hope you enjoyed watching the video. If you have any questions, please write them down. I will also probably open a poll somewhere just to hear out like what you guys think. If you like the video, please drop some like. If you like my channel, please also subscribe. It helps a lot, and I would like to push the channel a little bit further, because after a bit of a break, YouTube is kind of punishing our channel, and I would like to see a bit of more support if possible. I would really appreciate it. Like I said in the beginning of the video, we have Patreon. We have all kinds of stuff there. I'm sharing regular updates about anything, about design workflows, models and everything. The entrance is free. If you have bucks to spare, please do. I'll really appreciate, because it will also help me grow as well as an artist, and I will be having you over for different workflows and maybe different designs as well, and we will explore together. All right, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for your continuous support, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Have a nice one. Bye bye.